Atlas is a Netflix movie starring Jennifer Lopez, and it tells the tale of a rogue AI that goes and tries to blow up the world Thanos style, but she's got to go hunt him down first, kind of thing. And the bad guy's played by Simu Liu, Shang-Chi himself. Guys, the initial impressions are that I found this movie actually pretty good. I was impressed with the visual style of it, with the visual effects, how well things were integrated into the scenes. It was fairly seamless, and it was grand in scope, I thought. Uh, a lot of people are tearing this movie apart because, for some reasons, I don't know, people don't like her hair for some reason. Uh, People say, well, it's lazy sci-fi. I liked it because I saw where some of the sci-fi nods were coming from. And I don't care if you don't like J-Lo right now. I don't have that as a factor into why I'm not liking or gonna tell you that this should not be watched. Like, I like her, and she's made good Netflix movies in the past, with Mother last year. So I went into it with a fairly open kind of mindset because she has done well in the past, and I did like her other projects. So Sterling K. Brown is also in this, and Mark Strong is also in this. My thoughts were that, yeah, it's a bit like Avatar with the mech suits that we see. Like, there's that, and then uh, there's a little bit of that AI stuff. I think some people wanted this to be like a cautionary tale about how AI is today, kind of thing, but it's really not. Uh, it's about her in like this pod for most of it. So you have to rely on her acting abilities to sell you, and it did for me. Yes, I will grant that some of the acting is hokey at times. Some of the dialogue is like, all I want is a coffee. Yes, but she does it well enough where you're like, you give it a pass. And if you don't want to give it a pass, I would say, well, the visual effects then should be enough for you to say, okay, I'm curious enough that I want to check this movie out because it looks thrilling. And at the end of the day, I was like, I can't believe the imagery that we're seeing in this movie. Um, J-Lo made a movie like this. This is cool. And it is number one right now on Netflix, movie wise. So I would go over and check that out. Uh, let's pull up my score sheet here and get through some preliminary numbers for Atlas. Acting, directing, and story are out of a possible 2 points each. Cinematography and score are out of a possible 1 point each. Start off with the acting. Now, there's nothing Shakespearean in this, but I'm gonna have to give 1.5 for the voice acting of Smith, the artificial intelligence of her mech suit, because she's got to tie into it, kind of thing, right? Kind of like Johnny Mnemonic kind of style, a little bit of Matrix thrown in there. Uh, I like that tie-in with the AI. It didn't need to tell me a story about how we're doomed because of AI is going to take us over, kind of thing. I didn't need that. Some people want that for some reason. It's not like that. Directing, execution of the visual effects was pretty good. Execution of the story, I think the story could have been trimmed down a touch. It felt like they glossed over some stuff. So I'll say that story at 1 right now. Directing and acting though, I'll give a 1.5. Cinematography, the visual effects are really good. Score. There's a couple times I'll say the score was actually pretty good too. The sounds that you heard were accented by the the movie soundtrack, and you're like, oh, what? Okay, I like that. I want to listen to that. And it was fairly well done in that regard. So we're sitting at a 6 out of 10. Let's go over to the tomato meter and see what people are saying about this, because this is where we're going to run into some rough waters. 17% by critics, 54 by the audience. So the audience liked it better than the critics. And I'm guessing people are going to say that it's just familiar story tropes. I'm guessing. I haven't read all the critics' reviews, But the audience scores, the audience, uh, people were saying stuff like her hair and stuff like that. That's where I got that from. Uh, Audience member really enjoyed it. I can't understand the low ratings. This one is the best shoot 'em ups I've seen in years. Yeah, the action is pretty intense at times. Uh, this was painful to watch. I couldn't get into it. I couldn't even finish the movie. Like what? Like I don't know which movie you were watching then. It was painful to watch. Like it starts off pretty fast. The first act goes by like that. You're like, oh, and they don't waste time um, dumping exposition on you in pointless scenes. Like, oh, here I am watering my plant, telling you about my grandiose plans, kind of thing. No, they're getting ready to for battle, and exposition is coming out that makes sense to the scene. Like I'm thinking about a scene that takes place in a hangar, right? Kate Sanchez. Alice is pretty to look at, and Jennifer Lopez continues her run as a well competent action star. But with a clunky narrative, you can tell that it wants to be an anime very, very badly. Yeah, you got hints of anime in there, like because of the mechs, for sure. Um, I want to try to highlight like a pointless review here. Atlas often feels like a missed opportunity, hampered by sluggish pacing and a lack of depth in character development for everyone else except the main character. Um, well, it was pretty much her movie. The only other character was Smith. Are you talking about the bad guy? Yeah, he was a little bit mustache twirling there towards the end, but his plans, like Thanos, um, Indian Express, Rohan. To call Atlas an eyesore would be accurate, but it would also unfortunately imply a misty-eyed longing for the days of. See, this person likes the gray man. See, I discount you right there. Red Notice was fine, but it was schlocky. That's that one with Gal Gadot, The Rock, and Ryan Reynolds. No, I would easily take Atlas over those. Okay, what else we got here? Some U.S. Today. While Atlas doesn't top the J-Lo movie canon, it's certainly more interesting than a lot of her rom-com output. Yeah, it is. That's what I meant by how surprising it is that I was like, I can't believe that she made a movie like this. Um, the visuals were were impressive. For me, they were. It was shocking how well it was integrated and felt like seamless. like for a Netflix movie, Alice, and then on top of that is a JLo movie. That's where I was like, okay, this is a little bit more surprising, and we should probably give it a better or like more of a fair shake. But some people just are not as forgiving. Let's see. I just want to see if one that does attacks her for her face or something, because there are people here that do that. A Bucket of Bolts movie that, with apologies to Anne Rand, should have been titled Atlas Sucks. See, that adds nothing. See, this is a kind of a review that doesn't add anything. What do you mean Atlas sucks? Tell me why. Oh, you don't know who Anne Rand is? Well, guys, yeah, see, that's pointless. And all that does is just add to bandwagon haters that'll be like, oh, it's stupid. I don't want to see it. It's like, start to think for yourself a little bit, guys. Anyway, there's no talking to those people anyway. They're never going to come on board. Uh, Lopez throws everything at this, but even major movie star charisma can't make up for the recycled story elements, tired exposition, and endless psychobabble. Okay, this one has a little bit more meat, and this one we can actually work with. Tired exposition. The countless times I said throughout the movie and our reaction here on the channel, yeah, okay, this is a little bit like Blade Runner at times. This is like Matrix putting the thing into your brain and stuff. Recycled story elements and psychobabble. I don't know if I would agree with that. But you know who seems to be a master at weaving in uh, story elements that are familiar uh, is James Cameron. James Cameron uses very familiar tropes, and I don't see people complaining too much there. Um, well, I guess maybe they said it was Fern Gully in space, Dances with Wolves in space, but people liked it anyway because of the visuals. And I would say give Atlas a chance because of the visuals. They're not as poorly done as you think that they well should be for a Netflix film. And JLo does a good job in this. She really does. I was mesmerized by her a couple of times. So let's round up my sheet and see if I land. Probably, well, I'm definitely not 17, as you can see. I'm thinking ballpark 7 is where I'm probably going to be with my score sheet here. Going into the watchability factor, if you're a JLo fan, you'll want to check it out, right? Like hands down, you'll have the JLo fans there. But it's on Netflix, guys. You don't have to pay top dollar to go out and see it or to sit down and watch it. So I give it a 7 out of 10. In fact, I want to watch it again. So I give it 1.5. 7.5 for Atlas. Yeah, that's where I'm landing. 7.5. And I would even own it on Blu-ray if I could, maybe. I don't know. I liked it that much. Some of the imagery is still sitting with me in here. There's a great shot of her, like she's doing something in the mech and she like cheers when something happens. And it's like, oh wow, that's awesome. I dig that. Atlas, guys, have you seen it? Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. Were you surprised by it in its quality? At least give me the fact that give me give me the visual effects. Tell me that they looked pretty decent, even if you didn't like the story or whatever. Uh, yeah, 7.5 is for me. Atlas, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below and we will talk about it. Okay, so if you like this kind of thing, guys, here on the channel, we talk about things like the new Superman suit. We got movie reviews for Furiosa, full movie reactions for Atlas. That's up on the channel. Movie reviews for Back to Black, Strangers Chapter 1, I Saw the TV Glow, full series reactions for Fallout. And then we do movie news throughout the week where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day, including a bunch of little shorts here and there and stuff that, you know, people have fun with, like what's your best and worst movie lines and stuff like that. Uh, Lots of fun right here on Mirror Domains. If not, enjoy the rest of your day and I'll see you next time. Tomorrow, probably, right? Yes?